Hello everyone, welcome to Zaref Game Dev. In this video, we are going to create all the different obstacles that we need for our player to jump on. So we just created a default circle, not the default, it's just a platform which is a shape of the circle. And for now, the gravity is just pointing towards the zero location. So the player moves like it's rotating, but whenever it changes the point of center, which is the gravity, it needs to change. So let's code all of our obstacles and the player's setup. All we need to do is get the correct gravity. So for now, let's delete all of our obstacles in the scene. And for our obstacle inside the platform circle, there's the gravity direction script. And let's set up the gravity direction script. So for the circle, to get the direction of the gravity, it's going to be simple. So let's go inside Visual Studio and let's go for the platform and the gravity directions. And there are going to be a couple of extra code here, so let me copy paste it. And where is my, yeah, here it is. So it's going to the utility class, which is just going to return if we are colliding with anything. So it is a line utility class, and we'll check if start and this collides with each other. And let's just hide it. Now what we are going to need in our gravity direction is, first we need to check if it's a circle. So if it's a circle, when our gravity direction is called, so let's create a serialized field. Private bool is circle, and a serialized field and private list of transform, and here we'll call them as corners, and we'll have it export a method which is going to return a vector 3, and we call this get direction. And for our get direction, we'll pass a vector 3 for the position. And what we are going to do is, for each of the corners dot count, we'll check int next is going to be I plus 1 percentage of corners dot count. And let's first create our point 1. So we took point 1, and this point is going to be from our position pos dot x and pos dot y. And our point 2, which is the end, it is going to be our center. So it's going to be transform dot position dot x and transform dot position dot y, and it will create a line segment from p1 to p2. And after that we'll create a vector 2, and it's going to be p3, and here we'll pass the corners of I dot position dot x and corners of I dot position dot y. So it's going to take the first point and set its position to be a vector 2, and similarly there's going to be a second point, but instead of I we'll use the next. And similarly here inside the corner we are going to use the next. And what we'll do is we'll check if our line util, which is the class dot, and we'll check if intersect line segments 2D. So it is going to return true or false, and the value we are going to pass is p1 and p2. P1 start, P1 end, which is P2, and then P2 start is P3, and finally it is P4, and out will pass vector 2, and we can name it anything, but for now let's just call it intersection. So if it is true, then we'll set the new direction to be new, and here we'll pass p4 dot x minus p3 dot x and p4 dot y minus p3 dot y. So this one is going to be the horizontal direction, but what we need is the vertical direction, so we'll return a new vector 3, and it's going to have negative new direction dot y and new direction dot x, and the x position is going to be 0, or we can pass the pos dot z, and we'll need to normalize it. And after that, if corners dot count, we don't need to change if the number of corners are 0. Then if this corners dot count is not, then what we are going to do is we'll return position minus transform dot position dot normalized. So the direction is going to be position, and it's going to be, I think there should be negative, but we added negative. Yeah, we added the negative, so it doesn't matter. So this is going to return the direction if there are any corners, and inside our player, what we need to do is inside our gravity direction, or where we created that, we are going to change or get it using a method. So what we'll do, let's first do array cast hit 2D, and it's going to be an array, and let's call it hit, and it will do physics 2D dot circle cast all, and inside our circle cast all we'll set the transform dot position, and the radius is going to be our search radius. I think we didn't create it, so search radius, and let's create the method for float. So private float ground drag add drag search radius, and here we'll pass our search radius, and in the direction is going to be the up, and distance is going to be 0. So it's going to get everything that it's hitting, and the mask is going to be our gravity mask. And I think we forgot to add a ground mask. Yeah, we added a ground, so that's not. So what first thing we'll check, if hit dot length is equals to 0, then we'll just return. Else we'll let's first set the closest distance is going to be our search radius, and we'll create a variable to store our temporary distance. what we are going to do is, for each variable item in hit, we'll check. Let's first get the item position, and it's going to be item.collider.gameObject.transform.position, and we'll get the distance is going to be v3.distance from transform.position to the item position, and we'll check if our temporary distance is less than the closest distance, then our closest distance is going to be the temporary distance, CLOSEST. And our closest object, we'll need to create a game object, and our closest object is going to be item.collider.gameObject. And at the end of this for each loop, what we are going to do is gravity up direction is going to be, for the closest object, we'll get the gravity direction component, and for that gravity direction component we'll call the get gravity method. What the method was called, get direction. And mm, 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 mm. Okay, so we need to pass the transform position. So the point is the closest object use of unassigned local variable, wrap call chain. Doesn't matter. So it is just going to set the gravity up direction, and if our closest object is not equal to previous gravity object, then what we are going to do is we'll call the game manager dot instance dot move camera, and here we'll pass the closest object dot transform dot position, and we need to set our previous gravity object to be our closest object. Now there is a problem with our closest object is going to be hmm, hmm, hmm. Let's first set the zeroth bit of 0.collider dot game of. Okay, so now it should be fine. So this is just going to set up the gravity, and the gravity direction is also working. So let's see if it works. So let's go inside Unity, and for our platform circle we need to set the circle to true, and mhm, yeah, let's just set this circle to true, and inside our player is anything else needed, the search radius, let's set it to 1000, and we'll apply it to the prefab, and let's go inside our game manager, and we need to assign our player, And we already assigned the main camera, so let's hit play. There should be some problems, but okay. So many problems, so we need to attach a platform. So let's see first how our circle is working. So the gravity should be fine. Oh boy, what happened? There's the problem with the gravity. The default gravity is 0, but the gravity is not changing. So there are no corners, so it should pass pause minus transform dot position dot normalized. Hmm, 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 hmm. Get gravity direction. So let's see where's the problem. Let's hit play. And it's applying gravity like that. The ground has the ground mass and the gravity has the gravity mass. So it has, okay, the layer changed gravity. We need to add the gravity. No, this object only, and the platform circle needs to. So somehow there was a mess up in the layer, so it was not get the gravity object. So now we can move left, we can jump, we can move right, and we can jump. And it is working. Now we need to check. The rotation speed is too high. Hmm. So do we have any different parameters for our player which are not set? So rotate value, we will change it afterwards. Now let's try adding a couple more circles, which is going to be at the fourth position. And this one, let's set it to the -4. And inside our game manager, let's see if we can jump to different circles. And if it does, that means our setting is finished. And as you can see, we are able to jump, and it is working perfectly fine. So that is a problem with the gravity. I mean, it's not a problem. We need to just set the values so that it doesn't look choppy enough. So let's go inside the player and let's decrease the gravity force to 1000, and let's see how it works right now. So it doesn't look bad, but there is a problem with the maximum velocity. The movement is also good, so let's set up the maximum velocity and we'll be done with it. So velocity y is greater than gravity force. And velocity limiter, it needs to only have limit for the falling velocity. So now our jumping should work fine. Just change a couple of values and let's see how it looks. The jumps are pretty large. That was expected. So let's set our jump force to be around 4 and let's see how it works. So 4 is not good, let's set it to 8. So it is working pretty fine and our movement is a little bit choppy, but we'll do with it. And we are able to jump. So that was for our first obstacle, which is the circle. We are not going to add more functionality to it, but we don't need the circle. We are going to need a box. So we'll duplicate this platform circle and we'll call it platform box. And inside our platform box, where our platform circle is there, let's just call it box. Inside our platform circle, let's just call it circle. So inside our platform box, let's remove the circle collider 2D, and for the sprite we are going to use our square sprite, and let's add a polygon collider 2D. And let's edit it a little bit. And it created a more. So we'll just edit so doesn't look choppy. Added one more here. Let's reset and let's see. Add. Let's move it here, move it here. Just moving around a couple of points. Mm, 2 points should be more than enough. Mm, let it have a, it's, uh, now it looks good enough. Now this is our box, and there's not going to be anything different. Let's add our material, but there are going to be a couple of points which we need to add to our gravity direction. And here a circle is going to be off. So I don't think we need the circle because it has 0 corners and it automatically by default calculates at the number of corners. So let's add all of our corners and let's create empty, call it corners. Here we'll create all of our corners. Let's create an empty. Just call it 1 and let's have x. X is going to be 0.5, y is going to be 0.35, and let's have the smaller one. I think this have after we have 1 we are going to have 2, which our x is going to be increasing and to be decreasing. I cannot get the original location, so let's scale it by 10. 0.5 and 0.73, and here instead of x, y is going to be negative. Let's duplicate this again. Let's make 4x is 0.5 and y is going negative 0.5. Similarly, x is going to be negative, and here we had the unknown importer error. I don't know why it causes it. Let's duplicate the 5. Let's call it 6. Here x is going to be 0.5, y is going to be 4. And 7th point, let's change the x to positive. And finally the 8th point where the x is going to be 5 and y is going. And if we rescale it to 1, we should be able to see all of the points. Now what these points are going to do is inside our platform box we are going to attach all of these points to our revert. It's just 1. Now this is going to be our platform box, and let's now attach our platform box and let's see if it works as we intended it to be. So this one is going to be at -4 and let's hit play. So the gravity direction should only be facing on the top, and as you can see there are some problem with the corners, but everything else is just fine. And we'll need to smooth out the corners a little bit. So except for the corners, everything else is working fine. And we are able to more add the different, and again as you can see it's a choppy, and sometimes I don't know why it happens, but the flip is not going to work, so it also put inside our, well, it doesn't matter, we'll just go with it. So that was our default platform, and let's rename this as platform 1. Platform 1, 2 and 3. And what we are going to do with platform 3 is position it at 8, and our player is also correctly set up. Now how much time did, oh, only 30 minutes. It finished pretty fast. So we have all three of our platforms, and now what we need to do is just set up our goals and the diamonds. So there's just one diamond in the scene, and it's at 8 to 0. So let's go inside our items and bring the diamond 8 to 0, and we'll need to rescale it to 0 point. It looks good enough. And this isn't the diamond, this is our goal. And I think there are 4 boxes. Yeah, there's also a fourth box which is at the 12th position, and our diamonds at the 12th position. Not diamonds at the 8th position, and our goal should be at the 12th position. And 1.3, and that's our goal. And we should be able to hit the goal and hit the diamond. And let's duplicate this level, and we'll rename this to stage 2. Let's go inside stage 2, and that's just going to be for the game manager, and at stage there's just going to be the stage data, and inside our text we'll just set the count to 2. So these are our 2 stages, and let's add our first stage to the build. So it's already added, and let's also add our second stage to the build. So these are our 2 stages, and now if we go inside and play from our main menu, we should be able to finish the first stage. And so we are playing the first stage, and we hit the diamond, collected the diamond. So we finished our stage, and there's a problem with our third. We also didn't attach the next. So let's see. The problem was with our end. When let's go inside our game manager. Uh, that was the problem. Instead of end diamonds dot count, we need to set the total diamonds dot count. And now it should be fixed. And let's go inside Unity, and let's attach the function for our next, which should be inside our stage 1 1. And let's set save. Similarly, we'll need to do inside our second scene because they are different. It's not a prefab. need to change it every time we want to have it changed inside the scene. So let's call the play next level. And I think we'll need a couple of spikes too. So let's go inside the first scene and let's add two spikes, which is going to be at 4.9 and 8.4 and -8. So let's add our first spike to the scene. So which is going to be our spike. And let's add it to the obstacles. It is going to be at the 0.9. And our second spike, which is going to be at the end -0.9, flip down the y, and that should be good enough. So we have the spikes, we have our diamonds, we have our levels, and everything's working perfectly fine. So did we attach the back? Yeah, that is back to main menu. And the next, so let's see if it works. So let's go inside the main menu scene and we'll start from the first level. So the only thing we need to check is, are we going from the first level to the second level? Okay, so the value is updated and there's always going to be some problem. If we hit next, we are inside our second stage. And instead of next, if we hit back, we can see that our first and the second stage are finished with the perfect try. So it's working perfectly fine. And the only thing that's remaining to do is set up all of our stages correctly. And yep, that's the only thing. So there's not going to be different types of stages till we hit the stage 5, which has a rotating box. And let's create our second and our third stage, which is just going to have our spikes. And in the next video we'll create the rest of the different stages. So let's go inside level, and in the second scene it's going to have three boxes, no, three boxes and one circle. So let's delete one of our platform box and 8 and 12. And after that it's going to have a circle at 4, so we'll use from our prefabs platform circle at 4 and a spike at 4.9 and 8 negative point. Doesn't have a spike. And inside the items it's going to have a spike and with scale of 0.5. Let's lock it. And lock 1 block, make it 0.5 and flip y-axis. So there's just going to be this one spike, so that's the second stage, and the goals are at the similar position. And now we'll create our third stage. So let's duplicate the stage 2, rename it as stage 3. And inside our stage 3, our diamond's going to be at 69.3. Not the diamond, our goal. And there are going to be two diamonds, of which our first diamond is going to be at 14 and 3. and our second diamond it's going to be at 8 and 6. So these are the two diamonds, 8 and 6 and 14 and 3. And now let's create all of our boxes. 0 0 0 8 0 0 16 8 0, and these are our three boxes, and that's going to be a circle. And let's delete this spike. So the next circle is going to be at 4 0 0, and it's going to be at 8 4 and 0. And let's duplicate this, and it's going to be at 12 4 and 0, and it's renamed as circle 3. And finally a circle 4 at 12 8 and 0. So this is just going to be the path the player should have taken, and there's going to be obstacles in between, and the obstacles are our spike balls, so they are pretty large right now. Let's lock it and let's make it 0.5, and they are going to be positioned at 6 to 0, 6 negative to 0, and 10 to 0. That's going to be at 10 6. And next one is going to be at 14 6. So it should follow this path, collect this, and then return to the end of the goal. And that should be our stage 3. We'll need to interchange our stage 2 and stage 3. So for our stage 2, the game manager also has the level 3 UI data. We need to rename this as 3. So we need to rename the one as 3. What is happening? Let's first remove the 3's name, rename one as 3 and 3 as 2. So everything's working fine, and the only thing that's remaining to do is add our current scene to the scene, which is going to be our second scene. So build settings, add open scenes, and that should be our all three scenes created. And now let's go inside our main menu and let's see if we can play all three of our scenes. So let's hit play, and we should be able to finish the third scene. So currently everything is empty. There are spikes, and there's a problem with the alignment, but I'm not going to bother with it right now, because sometimes it doesn't work. And this is the third scene, so it is working. The restart is also working. And let's now go inside our main menu, and our data is updated. As you can see, we finished both of them perfectly, and the only thing that is not updated is the diamonds, so we'll need to see for that. And let's go inside our levels and scene 3, and we'll need to rename as the third. And the only thing that's remaining to do is our diamonds which are not updated at the end of the game. So the retry is updated. Perfect, perfect. Yeah, we didn't update the diamonds, so there was a problem with the diamonds. Hmm. Level name to current diamonds. Current diamonds is greater than current score. And after that, we need to let's first get the diamonds increase, which is going to be the current diamonds minus the current score. So the current score is the value of the diamonds for the current level, and if our diamonds increase is greater than 0, then we need to update player prefs dot get instance data of diamonds, and we need to add the diamonds in, and after that we'll set. So that should do the trick, and let's reset everything and we'll play the game. So let's clear all player prefs and let's go inside our main menu and let's hit play. Turn off the sound. Let's play the how to play level. Working fine. Let's play the first level, which is going to be here. And I think there's a problem with the corner somehow. Somewhere it is flipping, but I don't know. Second level also finished. Third level we can finish it. And after finishing it, we'll go inside the first, and as you can see, the number of diamonds are updated and everything's working perfectly fine. So that was it for this video. In the next video, we'll create the rotating platform, which is just going to have some coded animation attached to it. And I tried to have the player rotate with it, but as it is a rigid body, the coupling between both the rigid bodies is not so like uh, I can't calculate, I don't know how to calculate the accurate value for the force, so I just use the random amount of force and it's just going to rotate with the box. So we'll create the rest of the levels in the next video, which are going to be around 3 to 4. And that was it for this video. And if you guys watched till now, thank you guys for watching and see you guys in the next one.